unpopular opinion. Yes, you can drive a car in Jakarta and complain about traffic. You have every right. Let me explain. What's good YouTube? It's your boy B. Dan nontonin video reaction gue berasa nontonin video orang Kroasia. So a few days ago, I was driving with my wife and 5-year-old in the car and complaining about Kemang traffic in my Instagram stories because we were just trying to go to a restaurant that's not even a kilometer away from my house, and it took us 45 minutes. Let me repeat that, 45 minutes, not even 1 kilometer. And just like everybody else, I complain in social media, I complain in my Instagram story, and someone have the audacity to say you don't have the right to complain. You're driving a car, you are the traffic, use public transportation. Fair point, you are absolutely correct. But at the same time, using public transportation will not get you to your destination any faster. As a matter of fact, it will take you longer. And the Jakarta public transportation system is just not ready to handle everybody switching to public transportation. Let me explain. These are just some of the few pictures of the train station during rush hour. Look at that, okay? And also Transjakarta, especially this picture irks me. All these in the Transjakarta lane. So if you're in the bus using Transjakarta, you're trying to have the moral high ground, you're using public transportation to make you feel that you are superior to everybody else because you're trying to save the planet using public transportation, and then you're stuck behind motorcycles. Now, menurut lu ada berapa kendaraan bermotor pribadi di Jakarta? A quick Google search will tell you jumlah kendaraan bermotor di DKI Jakarta ada 23,03 juta unit per 17 Agustus 2023. Now, let's say 10%-nya aja deh, berarti 2 jutaan. 2 jutaan orang tiba-tiba besok memutuskan untuk beralih menggunakan transportasi umum. Kebayang nggak lo lihat nih, kayak begini. Terus lu tambahin lagi 2,3 juta. And I'm not completely ignorant. Gua pastinya juga mencoba untuk mengurangi kemacetan. I tried public transportation before untuk ke kantor, and I will never do it again. Here's why. Gua tinggal di Kemang. I'm not gonna show you exactly where. Obviously, I'm not trying to dox myself. Dan kantor gua ada di Landmark Pluit, Jakarta Utara. Kalau teman-teman lihat di Google Maps ini, gue ambil contoh di McDonald's aja ya, McDonald's Kemang ke Landmark Pluit, estimasinya adalah 2 jam 9 menit. Tapi realitanya dari pengalaman gue, and probably a lot of you that tried to use public transportation before will agree with me. Here's what happened. Pertama, jalan kaki ke feeder Transjakarta, ke feeder busway sekitar 10 menit. Kemudian, nungguin feeder busway itu 30 menit, 15 menit kalau lu hoki. And then, you get on the feeder, in my case, ke arah Mampang, untuk naik Transjakarta Mampang yang ke arah Kuningan, itu 50 menit karena macetnya Kemang yang gak masuk akal. And then you get to Mampang, you get on the busway in Mampang, you go to, I forgot whatever station that is closest to Pluit, another hour and 30 minutes. And then you still have to walk another 15-20 minutes because, again, the public transportation system is not yet ready and not well integrated. And then some of you may say, oh, terus kenapa lu nggak bike to work aja? If you follow me for a long time, you know I am a cyclist, okay? Gua 3 bulan itu sepedahan ke kantor. I tried it. Alright, and there's a few reasons why this is not feasible for me. First of all, the bike lane is dangerous. Obviously, we have to share the road with other motorists, dan jangan ngegrouping gua sama yang suka olahraga sepeda pagi-pagi ngalangin jalan ya. I am a commuter. I use my bike to go to work. And during my 3 months of biking to work, 3 times gua body-bodyan sama pengendara motor yang mepet-mepetin gua, padahal gua udah di jalur sepeda. That's why I stopped riding my bike to work. Oke, balik lagi ke public transportation. transportation. If you look at the cost of public transportation, seperti contoh gue tadi, misal, first you pay for the feeder, second you pay for the busway, and then you pay another connecting busway, and then you have to walk. That means you're dehydrated because Jakarta is hot as so you have to buy electrolyte drinks, or maybe not, bring your own tumbler or whatever, and then you have to go back home, do the same thing, and then end up costing the same as owning a second-hand motorcycle. So that's out of the window. And as for my case with riding bike to work, selain tadi yang gue udah sebutin bahaya senggol-senggolan sama pengendara motor lainnya, I am in the video production business. So when I go to work, in my bag I carry my video editing computer, my camera, lenses, microphones, external hard drive, SSDs, and for my other work I review gadgets and electronics. Sometimes I have unreleased products that are expensive, so it's super risky. Kalau misalnya gue dibetak gitu kan, kelar hidup gue. But if you're watching this video and you saw me on the road and you're trying to mug me, remember that I also carry a 9mm. Just kidding. Anyways, I'm not here to just complain. I also happen to have a master's degree in problem solving, so I ask the most intelligent person I know, ChatGPT. But before ChatGPT, I just want to share with you guys that Jakarta dapat anggaran untuk atasi macet 6,9 triliun. Let's see what this 6.9 trillion rupiah is going to be allocated for. Jadi 6,9 triliun ini, anggaran di 2024, which is next year, itu untuk subsidi transportasi MRT, LRT, Transjakarta, and pengendalian lalu lintas, penertiban parkir liar. So annoying, parkir liar tuh emang yang bikin macet juga, nyebelin. Penertiban lintasan seperti yang viral kemarin, para pejuang lawan arah yang paling bener, yang walaupun salah tetap bener. Dan dari besaran anggaran 6,9 triliun untuk penanganan kemacetan sebesar 4,9 triliun merupakan public service obligation yang akan difokuskan sebagai peningkatan kualitas dan kuantitas angkutan umum. So, there you go. This answer my initial argument bahwa angkutan umum itu memang belum siap. Belum siap secara volume, belum siap secara interconnectivity, dan trayeknya belum lengkap. So good, they're on the right track. Cuman tinggal bagaimana eksekusi anggaran ini di lapangan semaksimal mungkin. I'm not gonna go into politics, what usually happens dari anggaran totalnya berapa, realisasinya berapa, itu gue serahkan kepada yang lebih ahlinya. So now, ChatGPT. So I told ChatGPT, you know, Jakarta has one of the worst traffic in the world. Please give a detailed explanation as to why that is and elaborate on each point. Pertama, population density. One, hands down, agree. Populasi Jakarta adalah kota nomor 10 paling padat penduduk di dunia. So no surprise there kalau kita bakal macet. Rapid urbanization, perkembangan populasi di Jakarta memang nggak masuk akal. Setiap tahun peningkatannya itu gila. Inadequate infrastructure, seperti yang gue bilang tadi, infrastrukturnya jelek. Perencanaan tata kotanya juga gak jelas. Daerah pemukiman mana, daerah bisnis mana. Limited public transportation. Again, contoh pengalaman gue naik public transportation. High vehicle ownership. Ya mau gimana lagi? It costs the same, maybe even cheaper to own your own, second-hand motorcycle, and you get to where you need to be faster. Lack of traffic management. Kita semua udah tahu lah, manajemen traffic di jalanan tuh bagaimana. Geographical challenges, economic activities, and centralization, poor air quality, nggak nyambung. Nah, akhirnya gue tanya ke ChatGPT. Jakarta recently receives 6.9 trillion rupiah. Again, 6.9 trillion rupiah. Itu nolnya 12 bro di belakang angka depan. That's a lot of money. Satu bus Transjakarta aja harganya paling berapa sih kalau emang bener-bener beli dengan harga yang kalau misalnya di tender terus beli memang harganya paling murah, bisa dapat berapa unit gitu. MRT pun juga seperti itu kan, pasti bisa nambah. So ChatGPT bilang kalau dia in charge buat benerin kemacetan di Jakarta will be for infrastructure development, expand and upgrade roads. Yes, ini penting banget. Walaupun kita ada public transportation, tetap jalanan tuh harus di-expand. Dan juga please bring back the bike lane biar lebih nyaman gitu buat orang yang untuk commuting dengan sepeda, karena itu akan ngurangin banget volume kendaraan di jalan. Encourage, bikinlah nyaman gitu loh untuk pengendara sepeda, dan juga buat teman-teman yang naik EV, personal EV, electronic vehicle kayak electric skateboard atau Segway and all that, buat ngebangun infrastructure, build new infrastructure, smart traffic management system, public transportation enhancement, expand public transportation networks, integrate transportation system system, improve last mile connectivity. Ini maksudnya adalah improve last mile connectivity dalam arti kayak di cerita gue awal tadi, di stasiun terakhir ke deket kantor gue itu harusnya kan daerah bisnis itu jangan jauh-jauh dari stasiunnya. 20-minute walk is a long ass walk. Kalau kita berkaca ke negara-negara maju, like let's say Singapore or most extreme case Japan, business district dari stasiun kereta takes like 5 minute, 10-minute walks. Dan juga trotoar please dibikin yang bener dong. Like if you want people to take public transportation and walk, make the walk comfortable. Jalan kaki itu harusnya kita ngeliatnya ke depan. Kalau di Jakarta nggak bisa kita jalan kaki ngeliat ke depan, mesti lihat ke bawah karena lobang semua. Pedestrian and cycling infrastructure, yep, ChatGPT, the smartest thing that ever lived. Itu setuju memang pedestrian and cycling infrastructure itu harus ada. Semua negara maju pun begitu. Belanda, Jepang, Singapura, you have to have pedestrian and cycling infrastructure. Urban planning and land use, promote transit-oriented development, masih sama dengan poin yang tadi. Community engagement and education, ini penting banget. Traffic awareness campaign, seperti yang tadi, parkir liar dan lawan arah itu harus diedukasi dan dihukum yang tegas. Kalau perlu jangan cuman SIM-nya dicabut di tempat, ambil STNK sama motornya kandangin. Jir lah, kata gue teh. There you go guys. Inilah kenapa menurut gue, if you drive a car atau kendaraan pribadi di Jakarta, you 100% have the right to complain about traffic. Jangan biarin orang-orang nge-guilt tripin lu lah penyebab macet, harusnya lu naik kendaraan umum. No, kendaraan umum belum siap. 23 juta kendaraan pribadi di Jakarta. Bayangin kalau besok setengahnya, nggak usah setengahnya, 10%-nya aja pindah public transport. Chaos, man. So you have every right to complain. Biar apa? Biar pemerintah cepet kerjanya nih. Oke? Selamat berjuang buat bapak-bapak yang ditugaskan untuk menghilangkan kemacetan di Jakarta. Karena inilah penyebab kenapa Jakarta orang-orangnya sumbu pendek semua. Gimana enggak? Tiap hari waktu habis di jalan. Tiap hari at least spend waktu itu 2 jam di jalan. Ngurang-ngurangin waktu sama keluarga. Ngurang-ngurangin waktu main sama anak. If you have any other suggestion or creative ideas to resolve this issue, please write them in the comments down below. Thank you so much everybody for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Maaf kalau ada salah kata ya. Namanya juga konten. Ini nggak marah beneran kok.